Okay guys, so it's around that time where we do a seasonal operator tier list.
Hey, what's up guys? It's Scares here.
And we've seen some crazy changes, being a lot of operators lost their ACOG on defense, and a lot of operators gained the Reaper MK2. They said they buffed this gun with the recoil, but I don't know. So right now we have 5 different categories. We have awful being literally probably needs a buff, or they're just bad operators in my opinion. C is alright. Picks mostly situational, so it really depends on your teammates, the map, the site setup, etc. Like you really need to put in the effort to make it work, or it's one of those one-off strats. B is just good, generally just a good pick. A is great, and then S is meta, being either overpowered or just a great pick on every single map. So starting off, we're going to talk about the new operator Denari. Now, I personally think Denari has unlimited capability at this moment, and I feel like this upcoming season, players are just not going to know how to counter him, or they're going to over commit their utility trying to counter him. So for now, I'm going to place him in S meta, and just for the reasons I explained. I see some crazy comments on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter about people thinking that this operator is too overpowered, or they think it's as simple as just using one grenade on it, which they kind of forget that operators like Wamai got buffed this season, and you're going to see a lot more Wamai. So if you didn't know, Wamai actually gained a super shorty as a secondary, so he can now make rotates and be more viable all around. So I just think for that aspect, he is going to be S tier as well. I feel like we're almost going back into a utility meta heavy type gameplay, and I'm all for it personally. I love it. Now Aurora is going to be in B, being good. She is a little bit situational, but it does depend on the map and the team, but you can make her work even if you're solo queuing, if you're just trying to do like really basic setups with her, like cutting off any entrances or flanks. I really do wish you were able to use her gadgets on windows though, but it is what it is. Next up, we're gonna go Deimos, which is S meta. It's crazy to say, but yeah, Deimos is meta as heck. He is super valuable, free information, and he's just a fragging machine. So I putting him in S. Ram, she is going to go into, I want to say actually be good. And hear me out before you go in the comments and start trying to, get all angry. I personally think that Ram, when it comes to making vertical play, can hurt you more than it helps you in a lot of instances, and that's primarily because you don't have the selection of cover when you're actually making vertical. So when you make vertical, you're just throwing your gadget and it opens up all lines of sight, and it's sometimes really hard just to get cover as the person making vertical. So just for that, I just think that she's a good operator. She's very simple, she's very easy, but there's a lot of instances where I rather just use Buck or a Sledge, because it's just more efficient overall. Brava is also going to go into good, or no, great, because she is such a valuable operator. And as we're seeing with defense, we're seeing so many more gadgets being implemented where it just makes sense to bring in Brava 80 to 90% of the time just to counter enemies, especially really hard put together teams that know how to play off one another and play off utility. Grim, I also think Grim is a great pick. We have a lot of strong operators now, guys, overall. So I love Grim. I love how they buffed him. I really think that's what they need to do with Capital, with his smokes, is being able to bounce his gadgets off of things. And in all honesty, he just has so much value overall with hard breach device and being able to bounce his bees and the number of bees. So great. Sense is going to be a C. All right, picks, mostly situational, just for the fact that their gadget does not counter a lot of other operators. Like, for example, Dinar. When I was testing Sense in the TS when I got invited, I threw my Sense gadget through the lasers, and hopefully they change this, but it was just not going through, and I'm like, why does that not go through? I feel like I'm missing out, but yeah. Osa is going to be B. I think Osa's generally good. Like, you can use Osa's shields on hard breaches, like once your thermite or ace or whoever opens up a wall, and it's basically like playing a portable mirror, which is really great. And it's kind of forcing the defenders to have to peek a mirror or waste impacts or C4s. So overall, that's great. Flores is going to go into A as well. Once again, we're talking about the utility meta, or just generally, we're going to see a lot more, I think, protection for gadgets, being with Wamai being so prominent this next season, that I think you're going to see Flores and Bravo play so freaking much, man. Zero is going to go in C. All right, picks, mostly situational. And I know a lot of people are going to probably say, but he counters so many operators. The problem with him compared to a lot of the other operators is the amount of time that it actually takes to deploy his gadgets, and the number of gadgets he has can be hurtful, because if you have a dead teammate and you have drones up and you have all these zero cams up, sometimes too much information is just too much. So it can be very hurtful sometimes to try to even like use zero, because a lot of your round is just spent on the zero cams, and I love zero personally. Ace is going to go in the meta as well. Ace is a fantastic operator, and the reason why he's one of the most banned operators, it's just he brings so much value for the team, since you're able to quickly open walls, and you know, you have the AK, and he's honestly every flex player's wet dream. Yana is also going to be great this next season, just because, you know, she does counter Denari, does counter so many operators, and you basically have almost like an unlimited drone with her, so there's really no downside in bringing her. Amaru is going to be all right, mostly situational. I don't even know if I need to say it, but it's Amaru. Like, you're literally going to bring her to if you're going to rush or you just want to play stupid. Knock is going to go into... I don't even, is Knock even situational anymore? Like, I want to put her in awful, man. Like, I just think that she's one of those operators that I hate to see my teammates use. Like, it's like baiting out the ass. There's so much util that counters her. I'm putting her in awful personally. I think she needs a buff, especially with Denari now. Like, can you imagine sneaking all around the map, you know, baiting your teammates while they're executing the map, and then you're just over here. You have to worry about beepers. You have to worry about Denari traps. You have to worry about goo mine. Like, nah, it's too much, man. This operator is just too underwhelming. Callie, dude, I'm going to put her in all right, but mostly situational, because she does provide value to the team if you're destroying gadgets and whatnot. I'm trying to think on the top of my head. I can't really think of much when it comes to strats for her, but all I can think of is people baiting on coastline ruins. Next up, we're gonna have Gridlock, which is good, and Nomad, which is good. Both great operators. I think that even though they're both flank watch technically, that Nomad is the better technical flank watch, but I think Gridlock herself is very good for short-term flank watch, meaning really like close range and where you can actually get the audio. And it also is just a great way to lay out, you know, to mask audio. And you know, she has smokes, so she does have a lot going for her. It's just you can't use her like you use Nomad, in my opinion. Maverick is going to be in great. I think Maverick's a fantastic operator as well, and there's a lot of plays that you can maneuver, especially with people banning Thatcher, banning Ace, banning a lot of hard breaches. So Maverick counters that, but it is a little bit dependent on the map, who they're banning, etc. Finka is going to go in good. I like the fact that there's a healer on attack, but honestly, there's a lot of operators that you can interchange with Finka, besides her having nades, which is great, and having the fragging capability. I just think that she is a little bit more situational. Same with Lion. Lion's good as well, but once again, situational. And yeah, Dokkaebi is of course going to be in meta, you know, hacking cams, getting free calls, and just executing off that. And the popularity of the SMG-12 is just so irritating. Sophia is going to go into dude, I'm gonna put her in good as well. She's like Ashe, except, you know, like fatter, and she doesn't counter mirror. It's kind of weird that she doesn't counter mirror like Ashe does, but I guess it does make sense. So because the main reason why people bring Ashe a lot of the times, besides the R4C, is to counter mirror. She's one of the only operators that really does counter mirror from a far range. So yeah, I just think Sophia is just under, but I still think she's a good operator all around. Ying is going to be great. Now, the reason why is because, once again, you're able to take so much space with her Candelas as long as you're playing her, but you're also able to solo as well and or play in a team atmosphere with Ying. And it's something I learned while doing like a video where I was in like a mini coaching session. And basically the coach was telling me, he's like, for example, taking Clubhouse Master Stairs, when I'm walking up, I can literally ying off short haul. I can bounce it, ying off Logi, and then I can ying off Master, and I have so much freedom and control. So I think Ying just is great for that. Jackal is, dude. Jackal is just gonna go into alright picks, mostly situational. I think it's really dependent on how the enemy team is overall playing, and if you're really needing to clear one person, because like we've all had games where we've faced an enemy that's actually crazy and that is actually gunning. So you know, if you're trying to hard counter pick one person, sure, but Habana's going to go in great. She not only counters hatches, but she also is able to be self-sufficient in a lot of ways, especially her being able to have burn capability and, you know, open up castles, open up like all sorts of utilities. So she's a great operator all around. Capital is all right, mostly situational, because a lot that you do with his util, it does take a lot of time to set up for it, and it can be a pain in the ass trying to safely use his gadgets. But I do think he needs a minor buff with his smokes. If you're able to bounce them, man, I think he would honestly be a B or A operator. Blackbeard is, of course, going into meta, even with his, you know, changes or nerfs that they did this season. I still think he's going to be a meta operator because he's a shield with an AR. It's just, you're going to have to play a little bit smarter with him. Buck is going to be into great. Buck's a fantastic operator, definitely better than Ram, like I was saying, just because you have more freedom to open up lines of sight, but also have that cover aspect, and you can also do really aggressive plays very fast with him, and him having flashes just on top of that is fantastic. I think IQ is actually going to be... I don't want to say... I can't tell off the top of my head right now. I'm going to put her in good for now, because I think that these Denari placements that people are going to be placing are going to be kind of stupid, where IQ can just go below and destroy it. So there's no downside to bringing IQ, especially her having grenades, which is great. Now, talking about Blitz, he's a great pick as well. It's so annoying that Blitz is a good pick, because I don't know. I'm not a big fan of all these shields in Siege. It's just boring in my opinion, but it is what it is. Fuse is also going to go into good. I honestly am a Fuse lover, as you guys know if you guys watch me. Overall, he's great. I love him. He's fantastic. He clears utility. He even has a shield if you wanted to play a shield like a weirdo. Glaz is going to be an alright picks, but mostly situational, and that's just the fact of the playstyle behind Glaz, and the player playing Glaz has to really be a good Glaz player and know when to smoke things, when to play aggressive, know where their teammates are positioned so they can execute. And you can say that about a lot of operators, but I feel like Glaz, to get the most out of them, you really have to be on point. Montang is going to go into S meta. It's Montang. He creates a lot of map control very early on without being disciplined a lot of the time. So now, when talking about Twitch this upcoming season, I think that she's going to be great. Literally counters every single operator, basically. And Denari, I can't stress this enough. Denari and Wamai is going to be played so much. So just having a Twitch, being able to capitalize and destroy all those gadgets is just great. Thermite is going to go into good. I do think Thermite's a little bit more situational, the way that that ranked is played now, because a lot of times people are banning these operators, or you can't really be self-sufficient with Thermite compared to somebody that has hard breach device or pocket EMPs or even like a striker. So it's really determining the situation. He's a lot more situational, in my opinion. Ashe is, of course, going to be great because she can just clear mirrors. She can deal with all sorts of utility, and she's a fragging machine. Thatcher is, of course, just going to be... He's going to be great, in my opinion, just because his EMPs, the range of them, how long they last, and dealing with the Denari and just with late executes if you're not wasting all your EMPs on a wall. He's going to be great for that. And then Sledge is, of course, going to be great as well because just like Buck, the same vertical aspect. And he did get the Reaper this season, which that could be a good thing for a lot of you guys. Okay, I always get the Striker logo. Okay, so Striker is the attacker. I don't know why I always get this mixed up. I always think that this is the attacker. Is this not the attacker, guys? God, I'm actually an idiot. Attack? Yeah, the Striker's the attacker, right? Yeah. God, I'm an idiot. Which logo is that? Okay, yeah, Striker's the attacker. Striker is generally great, just because he's so self-sufficient, and depending on the map, you can really flex around that. Now, of course, you're trading off the value of not having a primary gadget, but let's be honest, you literally can just open a wall yourself, open a hatch yourself. You can clear a lot of utility with against like a Denari, Wamai, and it's going to be hard for people to really use their site setups. Because imagine you're a Denari and you have grenades and flashes. You know, there's a lot more flexibility with that. Sentry is going to be mostly situational. Not awful, but very, very underwhelming recruit rework, I would say. And then Scopos is going to be alright, mostly situational. It's one of those like filler picks in my opinion, at least in ranked. I can't see a lot of people really taking advantage of Scopos or playing them properly. Tubero in my opinion is probably going to be... I can't tell if Tubero's meta because of the we're definitely going into a utility DMR ACOG meta. So I'm going to put Tubero in meta because just the fact of delaying breaches, delaying time, being able to freeze stuff and flank, you know, there's a lot of flexibility with Tubero overall. Finir is going to drop down from the higher tiers into good, and that's only because Finir lost the secondary bailiff, which is a huge hit for Finir because you have less flexibility. A lot of defenders need a secondary shotgun or some rotate capability to be up there higher. In Scopos, not Scopos, Solus is going to go in C, mostly situational. Now, if this was a competitive tier list, you would probably see Solus be much higher, but the way that ranked is played and how random it is, and honestly, just how Solus is played, it's so slow that I'm just going to put her in situational. Azami is always going to be S meta unless they drastically nerf her. Azami is just fantastic. I can't even like... I don't need to explain it. Thorn is going to go in C. Alright. Picks, mostly situation. No, I'm putting her in alpha. I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. It's just... Comparing her to every other trap operator, why would you bring her over any other trap operator? Thunderbird, in my opinion, and hear me out, I think she's great. If we're talking about a healing operator, she's better than Doc now. She has more overall impact on your team than Doc. I think Doc will still be good. He still has the capabilities to make rotates and whatnot. But actually, no, I'm putting them both in B. I can't. I just... A healing op isn't needed as much as people think. Like, this isn't like a game like Overwatch or anything like that where you need constant healing. It's helpful in a lot of situations, but I think that they're still decent. They're still good. Thunderbird does technically have better overall site setup and, you know, impact, I think, now, but nah. Aruni is going to go into S meta, and Aruni Gates mixed with Denari, mixed with more utility. She has an ACOG, and I hate the reason for me to put some of these operators in S is because ACOG kind of tops it off. But the reality is that is going to be meta. People are going to pick these operators just because of the DMR. And you can say that, by the way, about the defending recruit, because he does have the ACOG on the shotgun, but I still think it's mostly situational, because at least with a Rooney and 2bro, you have gadgets that counter operators, right? Malusi is going to go in great, super annoying operator to play against, but you can also counter her pretty easily. So, you know, if you're not watching your gadgets, then you're screwed, basically. Mira is going to be an S tier operator always. Mira literally changes how you play the game every single time, no matter what. And you're always having to pick your attacking operators based on Mira. Oryx is going to go in awful. I don't care. He's dog shit. They need to buff him. They need to make Oryx so he can dash through walls and stuff like that and slice it up and take no damage during the prep phase. That's just my opinion, though. Don't, you know. Rook is going to go in awful as well. How are you going to argue with me that Rook is not awful? Like, why would you bring a Rook over a Doc right now? Don't say the extra health. Don't say you can revive yourself. I think Rook needs a bit of a buff, personally. I think you should be able, if you're wearing Rook armor, you should be able to have one round of a pistol to be able to pew pew to shoot somebody while you're down. Personally, while you're taking the bullets out. You know, one round of whatever pistol or secondary you have. Goyo is going to be great. Goyo's always great. Goyo's fantastic. Goyo can work against you, though, if your teammates don't either pop the gadgets, know when to pop them, or even just like if they take site and you're trying to retake site, you're Goyo'd off. Warden is going to be good. In competitive, he's much higher, but he's very situational in rank, the way that people play, in my opinion. So yeah, just for that, I'm putting him in good. Vigil is mostly situational, in my opinion. The roam game isn't as serious as it used to be, like back in the day when you had like rat spots and you were able to hide better. Vigil is more of a nuisance, but a lot of times you can just evade Vigil overall, and if people aren't feeding into your roam, he's kind of a wasted operator, in my opinion. Cav is going to be awful. It's a very hit or miss operator, and a lot of times in higher ranks or as you progress, you're not going to be able to get an interrogation off unless you're actually playing with a thrower. But on console, though, if even in higher ranks, I honestly probably would place higher Cav probably in good. I think she's better than Vigil on console, at least. Cade is, of course, going to be good. A lot of counters, a lot of secondary EMPs, but, you know, he does waste time, which is fantastic. Can't complain. Jaeger is going to be good, but let's be honest, Womai is the king right now since he has a secondary shotgun. Clash is definitely going to be meta. Super annoying, super cringe. I don't know what Ubisoft was thinking, but, you know, there he is there she is, that bald, stupid operator. Alibi is definitely going to be an awful as well. Alibi is just a filler pick that a lot of times you can just interchange with many other operators. Like, literally, like, the gadget is so weak. Maestro is one of those operators I would put in good. The only thing that really sucks is, like, Brava is an instant, and I mean instant counter. As soon as somebody brings Maestro, you see Brava picked. On the flip side, Echo actually, even though he lost his ACOG, he got buffed by his, I believe, speed. Let's go over here and let's find Echo. Echo is losing the Mega Flying Scope. He also indicated gunfights close range. Speed increased to 2. Yeah, so he's a 2 speed, and then his health is reduced to 2. Echo just has more mobility with overall himself and his gadgets. Literally, it's so effective against shields as well. And as long as your teammates are playing off your Echo cams, you're straight. Capcan is going to be a great pick for ranked. Capcan, you can literally bring on every single map, every single site. Ella is going to be good just because the interaction with other operators like Denari, like you're able to do some really crazy instant kills with Denari and Ella, which makes her so insane. Smoke and Mew is always going to be S/meta. Don't care what anybody says. I love these two operators. You can bring them on every single map, every single site, and be super effective. And there's a reason why I always put them in meta. I love these two operators. Castle is going to be sitting in great. Castle is just a little bit more situational overall because it does depend on the map, the site, your teammates, how they play around castles, and all of that. Chachanka is going to go into C. Very situational. Let's be honest, Smoke is better. I think that he is more of a liability when you play him, because you're literally putting your gun down to shoot his stupid gadgets, and they take a while sometimes, and people usually just run through it. Let's be honest. Pulse is going to go in C. Very situational. Can be a very solid operator, like let's say Clubhouse Basement, but very situational, and you need to have really good comps, and you need to have teammates that actually listen to your comps. Velk is going to go in S. Velk's always meta just because you have unlimited possibilities with her Velcams, and that is super helpful no matter if you're solo queuing, 5-stacking, etc. Bandit is going to be in good as well. Honestly, looking at this, I'm trolling. I'm putting Cade in great, because Cade's always going to be a better pick than Bandit. But Bandit can Bandit trick, but there's so many counters to Bandit tricking. So a lot of times it's just better to bring a Cade Tubero. But yeah. Legion is going to be in good. Legion's dropping down from last season just because Legion lost to Super Shorty, and the site setup capability is a little bit harder now with Legion. Mozzie is... I actually think Mozzie is one of the most underrated operators on defense just because of the drone economy aspect of him hacking cams. And I think he is a game changer when it comes to just, you know, if you play his cams right and you actually hack cams and you shoot drones, then like you literally can win around just based off of them not having information. Frost is still gonna be great. Site setup capability, just overall flexibility, the fragging potential, shield, etc. This list, man, I'm looking at it now, and it's actually insane to me how much the meta has shifted just based off this season, the changes. So yeah, let me know. I know just like every other tier list, people are gonna complain. They're gonna be like, yo, this guy's a gold. You have to realize that I play on console and PC champ. Console, this list might be a little bit different if I were to change, if I was thinking only console, but I'm thinking both. If you're thinking at the highest ranked level in Siege, I think this would be my list. Let me know your thoughts and opinions, guys. Let me know how you're feeling about the DMR changes, them having ACOG, a lot of the operators losing their ACOG, and Denari especially. Do you think Denari's really going to live up to the hype, or do you think he's going to be a bad operator? Let me know that in the comments, guys, and have a good day.